With Deadpool and Wolverine hitting the big screen soon, and hints about the movie Logan being dropped, it makes you wonder, how did he get this way in the comics? Welcome to the Review Desk. I'm Desmond Carrick, and today we'll find out how Wolverine became Old Man Logan. The 2017 film Logan is considered one of the best in Fox's X franchise. In that film, the mutant population, including the X-Men, suffer many casualties when Xavier, the most powerful telepathic mind on the planet, had a seizure. Amongst the survivors was Wolverine. The event took a toll on his healing factor, however, as he now recovers more slowly and less efficiently, and has visibly started to age. In the comics, Old Man Logan's origins are just as tragic. The story takes place in the alternate reality of Earth 807128. Logan is now an old man who refuses to defend himself against troublemakers and states that he will never harm another living being again. A far cry from the Wolverine we know. So, what happened for him to change so astonishingly? It turns out that 50 years earlier, the bad guys decided to stop mucking about and pooled their efforts. They set out to conquer the United States and kill as many superheroes in the process, which is why it's no surprise they eventually came for the X-Men, and they did so in heavy numbers. With the X-Mansion under siege, Logan orders Jubilee to scuttle the younger students to safety. He fends off as many villains as he can, but they just keep coming wave after wave. For some strange reason, there are no other X-Men around, leaving Logan to defend their home on his own. He slips into a berserker rage and, while suffering grave injuries, manages to kill every supervillain, with Bullseye being his last victim. But then, it appears that things are not as they seem. The supervillain Mysterio shows up out of nowhere and reveals that he had improved his illusion casting abilities. It turns out that Wolverine wasn't fighting villains at all. He was fighting his fellow X-Men. Mysterio points out that even Wolverine wouldn't stand a chance against that many bloodlusted villains. Against his teammates who would hesitate to kill Logan, however, he could cut them all down. And he did. Mysterio ends the illusion, and to Logan's horror, his fellow X-Men, his teammates, his family, lay dead at the hands of his indestructible claws. He suffers a mental breakdown and wanders off into the wilderness, uncertain of how much time has passed. Eventually, Wolverine comes across a railroad track, and here he decides that the last X-Men he's going to kill is himself. Because after what he did, he doesn't deserve to live. A train runs over Wolverine's head and causes immense amounts of damage. But, aside from his deadly claws, he's famous for his healing factor. As a Fatal Attraction story proved, Wolverine's healing factor does have a limit, and it can be burned out. That's exactly what happened after his attempted suicide. His healing factor was never the same. He healed at a much slower rate, soft tissue wouldn't regenerate efficiently, and while his powers kept him physically in his prime, he now started to age, sporting wrinkles and grayed hair. In the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer, it's hinted at that this Wolverine could have had a similar experience. It was already established by Ryan Reynolds that this Wolverine is connected to the version we saw in Logan. It could also be that that world has more in common with the comic than we thought. For instance, we see Logan lay his head down in the same way as when he got to the train tracks. We also see Cassandra Nova emerge from the enlarged skull of a deceased Ant-Man. The Hank Pym version of that character had his corpse put on display by the triumphant supervillains in the comic. Another hint is that Wolverine's powers seem to have taken a huge hit when he has trouble popping out his claws all the way. Marvel is definitely taking some inspiration from several comic stories. This might be the same Wolverine from Logan, might not be. We'll find out when the movie eventually hits theaters on July 26. Whatever the case it may be, it'll be one heck of a ride. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.